Probably that explains why in the initial 10 or 12 years we did not place so much emphasis on the military. But we learned our lessons in 62. And after that I feel we have at least modulated our strategic and military interest in such a way that we will never face the sort of situation that we faced in 62. Probably made the Chinese psyche in a particular way. And the way we won our national freedom has turned our psyche in a particular way. So that basic difference is always there on that.
Actually, and General Malik also did say that there's a common perception in India that we were stabbed in the back by the Chinese. Malik also mentioned that there could have been certain faults from our side too. Now, what is your opinion on this? I mean, were we equally to blame or were to blame in any part for this conflict? What is your opinion?
Like there's an area called Aksai Chin through which China had built a road. Only land route between China, mainland China, that Xinjiang and Tibet was through Aksai Chin. Otherwise, as General Malik said, all their supplies were through Calcutta port. So it was, if India had cut down the supplies through Calcutta port, Tibet could not have got the food and resources, which was essentially meant for the Chinese soldiers there. So they built a road through Aksai Chin, which is a disputed territory. We believe it is ours, they believe it is theirs. And there was a problem over that. Now when we stop our supplies through Calcutta port and then say that the road belongs to us, they say it as a very unfriendly gesture because that's the only way in which, through which they could feed the soldiers there. So probably some actions from our side had also created fears and apprehensions on the part of Chinese, or in the mind of Chinese, that they were unfriendly. We probably did not appreciate it to the extent that we should have. So to that extent, there was a provocation from our side. I also feel that it is not a case of getting stabbed from the back. There were mistakes on our side. Probably we did not expect the reaction to be so violent and so strong. And probably in the eastern sector, where we had to face heavy military reverses.
We have been surrounded by so many hostile, if I don't use the word hostile, then aggressive neighbors like China, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, even up to some extent in nowadays Nepal. Trains that all the neighbors were surrounded India is pursuing some sort of aggressive policy towards India. Don't we need to introspect our policy objectively? Then there might be some faulty lines adopted by us also.
It's a particularly difficult spot presently in the world. If you ask a person from the Western world, he will say that the most dangerous part of the world is probably South Asia. Not probably our misfortune that we are surrounded by countries who are not entirely friendly with us. But if you look at it in the, let's put it, we have other than Pakistan, with whom our difference of opinion started the time of partition, and which are on a different footing altogether. With the other countries, we have developed a sort of relationship which ensures that trade goes on, exchange at level of people go on, and all these countries like Bangladesh became independent only in 1971, Sri Lanka became independent only in the 50s. So these are all newly independent countries which have come into the, all these countries that were mentioned here are newly independent countries. So it is only natural that there will be some amount of nationalistic fervor, there will be some amount of distrust of the neighbors, and India being a particularly big country in that area in Southeast Asia, we are the largest. So there will always be some amount of fear of the Indian big brother in that area. But within that parameter, I feel we have done reasonably well. We had a problem with Sri Lanka, if you remember, the LTTE and the crisis during 1987 to 89, which also saw the death of an Indian Prime Minister in 1990. So we had problems with them, but now our relations with Sri Lanka has improved considerably. Similarly with Bangladesh also, the relationships have improved considerably.
Recently?
Yes, change also. The nature of relationship between two countries can keep changing. But on the whole, if you take during the last 20-25 years, then I would say if you compare with what was in the mid-80s to what is today, there has been a certain improvement.
From the nuclear war point, I just want to ask you, have we developed enough deterrent capabilities which can deter China to give up its aggression towards India?
See, nuclear thing is a great, it's what you call it gives a great leveling field, as you can say, because the deterrent is always there. But militarily, my personal opinion, it's not the opinion or any of those things, is that China is militarily and economically much more superior to us. So we cannot, as General Malik said, it will not be in the interest of anyone to have a war with China. When he mentioned anyone, I am sure he has in mind even the Western world, because they are very, very powerful right now. And it's not just a military muscle. You need the economic muscle also to sustain a war, and the nationalistic fervor. They have all these. So it would not be prudent on the part of any country to try to take on China in a war presently. Forget us.
Thank you, sir.
Considered as a debacle, you know? I mean, almost all forums where we read about it, it's treated as a debacle. But were there any positives that we took out of the war, in your opinion?
The policies that we were following vis-a-vis the military. Generally, there was a neglect of the military, there was a neglect of the armed forces. That was removed, that was one. Second, General Malik mentioned about the politicization of the armed forces. He was quite vocal about it. What happened, particularly with the General Kaul and all reaching the higher echelons. And someone had written, I don't remember who said these words, the best thing about Kaul was that he ensured that there would not be another person like him again in the annals of Indian Army. Army and the men in uniform were given the importance that it deserved, even today. So there is never any cut on defense spending. The research development is given high priority. We become a nuclear power. So there has been a lot of stress on that. Second probably is the debacle also told that if you read the book, you understand that the non-aligned nations, who we all considered our friends, decided to be non-aligned. So when it came to the crunch, they thought that this is the issue on which we should be non-aligned. They were not exactly our friends. So it was a big eye-opener, even probably for Pandit Nehru also, to that extent that he had to turn to US for help. So the idea of having our avenues of discussions and friendship open with all countries.